Plain of Six Glaciers hike above Lake Louise. Researching next year's book took me to Lake Louise in Alberta, Canada. As an excursion, I checked out the Plain of Six Glaciers hike above the lake. The Canadian Rockies and the brilliant turquoise color of Lake Louise are a sight to behold. The hike begins as an easy stroll along the shoreline of the world-famous Lake Louise. When the trail becomes a wooden boardwalk, you realize you are walking over water from the melting glaciers above. Here, rock climbers may be seen on the cliffs to the right of the trail. Shortly after the boardwalk, the ascent to the Plain of the Six Glaciers begins. The sights and sounds of the rushing glacial river are to the left. Rocks, roots, and piles of horse poop are all along the trail. About 5 kilometers in, the trail becomes a narrow rock path on the side of a cliff. The drop-off is significant. Beyond the ledge, the trail transitions to a rocky berm heading toward the massive Lake Louise glaciers. You may hear the sound of cracking ice as pieces of glacial ice continue their slide down the mountain. As the trail becomes steeper, there are a series of switchbacks. The ground gets wet from the streams running across the trail. Soon, the trail turns into a patio of stones. That's when you realize that you've arrived at the historic Plain of Six Glaciers tea house. There are benches near a charming mountain stream, and you can stop and eat at the tea house before continuing on to the Plain of Six Glaciers. As you cross the nearby stream, you will see a fan-shaped deposit of rocks. Alluvial fans like this one form where a confined channel of water, as from a melting glacier, exits a mountainous area into a wide lower area of land. Continuing along, you pass a small forest of larch trees and then a rock field from a previous landslide. The Plain of Six Glaciers hike is not maintained past the 6.3 kilometer mark, and it becomes a single track with many large rocks and tree roots. The final leg of the hike enters a natural amphitheater, with glaciers resting on the slopes and valleys of the mountains. Water streams off the two-part Victoria Glacier, which is draped over the upper slopes of Mount Victoria and also lying on the valley between that peak and Mount Lefroy. The Plain of Six Glaciers Trail is a moderate hike of 14.6 kilometers round trip, which took me under 4 hours to complete.